What if I told you that the very meal you've been trusting to start your day right has been quietly attacking your heart for decades? Picture this. You're standing in your kitchen tomorrow morning, just like you have thousands of times before. You reach for that familiar breakfast, the one you've always believed was keeping you healthy, the one your doctor never questioned, the one the commercials promised would give you energy and vitality. But what if in that innocent moment you're actually feeding the very thing that could steal years from your life? What if the heart attack that seems to come out of nowhere isn't sudden at all, but the final chapter of a story that's been written one breakfast at a time? Here's the truth no one wants to face. We've been lied to about what's really destroying our hearts. While everyone obsesses over cholesterol numbers, there's something far more sinister happening in our bodies every single morning. Something that 84% of us do without a second thought. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what this hidden heart destroyer is, why it's more dangerous than any cholesterol reading, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself starting tomorrow morning. Because your heart deserves the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. Number 1. The hidden enemy on your breakfast table. Take a moment and think about this morning. What did you reach for when you woke up hungry? Was it that bowl of cereal you've trusted for years? That piece of toast with jam? Maybe some orange juice to wash it down? I need you to understand something that might shake you to your core. That breakfast you just ate, the one you've been eating for decades thinking it was keeping you healthy, is actually the number one killer of hearts worldwide. Let me share something deeply personal with you. For years, I traveled for work, staying in hotels across the country. Every morning, I'd walk into those breakfast buffets feeling proud of my healthy choices I'd load up on whole grain cereals, fresh fruit, orange juice, maybe some toast with a low-fat spread. I genuinely believed I was taking care of myself. I was doing everything the magazines and doctors told me to do. But here's what nobody told me back then. Every single morning, with every spoonful, every sip, I was slowly poisoning my arteries. The wake-up call came during a routine checkup. The doctor's face changed when he looked at my test results. There it was, clear as day on the screen, plaque buildup in my arteries. Significant blockages that had been growing silently for years. As I sat there in that sterile examination room, the realization hit me like a freight train. All those mornings, all those healthy breakfasts had been quietly setting me up for a heart attack. 44% de nous faisons cette même erreur tous les jours. On ne parle pas d'un petit groupe de personnes ici. On parle de vos voisins, de vos amis, peut-être même de vous. The foods that have been marketed to us as healthy breakfast options are the very foods that are clogging our arteries and stealing years from our lives. This isn't about willpower or discipline. This is about being lied to by an entire industry that profits from our sickness. Number 2. What's really happening inside your arteries? Picture your arteries like the pipes in your home. When you first moved into your house decades ago, those pipes were clean and clear. Water flowed freely, pressure was perfect, everything worked beautifully. But over time, things started to build up. Not just a little residue here and there, but thick, sticky deposits that slowly narrowed those pipes until barely a trickle could get through. That's exactly what's happening inside your body right now, except instead of water, we're talking about the blood that carries life to your heart and brain. Every morning when you eat those refined carbohydrates and sugars, you're essentially pouring sticky waste into your arteries. Day after day, year after year, this waste builds up into what doctors call plaque. But here's where the story gets truly frightening. This plaque doesn't just sit there quietly. One day, without any warning, a piece of that plaque breaks off. It's like a chunk of rust suddenly breaking free from an old pipe. But in your artery, when that happens, your body panics. It tries to patch the break by forming a blood clot. And sometimes that clot is so big it completely blocks the artery. When that happens in an artery feeding your heart, you have a heart attack. When it happens in an artery feeding your brain, you have a stroke. The doctors will tell you it's because of your cholesterol numbers. They'll prescribe medications to lower your LDL, but they're treating the symptoms, not the cause. The real villain isn't cholesterol. Cholesterol is just doing its job, trying to repair damage. The real villain is the chronic inflammation ravaging the inside of your arteries, making them rough and damaged so that cholesterol sticks to them like glue. And what causes that inflammation? those innocent-looking breakfasts you've been eating your entire life. Number 3, the sugar trap that's destroying your body. Remember when you were younger and could eat anything without gaining weight? You probably thought it was just metabolism slowing down as you got older. But the truth is far more sinister than that. Your body has been under attack for decades, and the weapon of choice has been sugar and refined carbohydrates disguised as healthy food. Every time you eat that bowl of cereal, that piece of toast, or drink that glass of juice, something dramatic happens inside your body. Your blood sugar shoots up like a rocket. To deal with this emergency, your pancreas floods your bloodstream with insulin. At first, your body responds well. The sugar gets stored, your blood sugar comes down, everything seems fine. But imagine doing this 3 fois par jour pendant 30 et 40, 50 ans. Vos cellules commencent à s'épuiser en raison de l'attaque constante d'insuline. They start to ignore it, like a person who stops hearing a car alarm that's been going off too long. This is called insulin resistance, and it's the beginning of the end for your health. When your cells stop responding to insulin, your body panics and makes even more insulin. Now you have high blood sugar and high insulin at the same time. That excess sugar gets converted to fat and stored around your organs and in your liver. Those high insulin levels tell your body to hold on to every calorie, making it almost impossible to lose weight no matter how little you eat. But here's what makes this truly heartbreaking. The foods causing all this damage are sitting in your kitchen right now, labeled as healthy choices. That brown bread you switched to thinking it was better than white bread? It spikes your blood sugar just as much. Those whole grain cereals with the heart-healthy symbols on the box? They're turning your blood into syrup every morning. The companies making these foods know exactly what they're doing. They've engineered these products to be addictive, to make you crave more, to keep you buying their products while your health slowly crumbles. And the saddest part? They've convinced you it's your fault when their food makes you sick. Number 4, the poisoning of our children and ourselves. Walk down any cereal aisle and you'll see them. Bright, colorful boxes with cartoon characters, promising fun and nutrition for your grandchildren. Chocos, Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms. The marketing is brilliant. The reality is horrifying. These aren't foods. They're chemical cocktails designed to addict young minds and destroy young bodies. Let me tell you what's really in that box your grandchild begs for every time you go shopping together. First, there's enough sugar and refined carbs to send their blood sugar into the stratosphere. But that's just the beginning. These cereals have almost no fiber, which means all those carbohydrates hit their bloodstream like a sledgehammer. But here's the part that should make you angry. Really angry. Many of these cereals contain a chemical called trisodium phosphate. You want to know what else contains trisodium phosphate? The industrial cleaner sitting under your kitchen sink. The same chemical used to clean grease off restaurant floors is being sprinkled into cereal and fed to children every morning. How did we get to a place where cleaning chemicals are considered acceptable breakfast ingredients? How did we get so far away from real food that we're literally poisoning ourselves with products designed in laboratories instead of grown in fields? And it's not just the kids' cereals. Those adult cereals you trust, the ones with pictures of hearts and claims about lowering cholesterol, are just as devastating. They're slightly more sophisticated in their marketing, but the damage they cause is identical. They spike your insulin, promote inflammation, and slowly clog your arteries with every spoonful. The cruelest part is how these companies spend millions convincing us their products are healthy. They hire scientists to create studies that support their claims. They pay for advertisements featuring doctors and nutritionists. They put official-looking seals and badges on their packages. They've created an entire industry built on making poison look like medicine. Number 5. The juice deception that's killing your liver. Here's a question that might surprise you. Which is healthier, eating an orange or drinking a glass of orange juice? If you're like 90% of people, you probably said orange juice. After all, it's made from oranges, right? It's natural. It's got vitamin C. It must be good for you. This belief is literally killing people, and I need you to understand why. When you eat an orange, you're getting about 12 grams of natural sugars wrapped up in 3 grams of fiber. That fiber acts like a time-release capsule, slowing down how fast the sugar enters your bloodstream. Your body can handle it. Your insulin doesn't spike dangerously high. But when you drink orange juice, even the kind that claims to be fresh, squeezed with no added sugars, you're getting over 26 grams of sugar with zero fiber zero. That's like injecting sugar directly into your veins. Your blood sugar explodes upward, your pancreas dumps massive amounts of insulin into your system, and your liver gets overwhelmed trying to process it all. Here's what happens to that excess sugar in the juice. Your liver converts it directly into fat. Not just any fat, but a particularly dangerous type that builds up inside your liver cells, creating what doctors call fatty liver disease. A diseased liver can't do its job of filtering toxins from your blood, and it becomes a major risk factor for heart disease. But the damage doesn't stop there. That fructose in the juice, the part that makes it taste so sweet and natural, is actually more dangerous than regular sugar. Your body processes fructose differently than other sugars. It bypasses many of your body's normal regulatory systems and gets converted straight to fat, particularly around your middle and in your liver. Think about this for a moment. You've probably been told your whole life that fruit juice is healthy. You've probably given it to your children and grandchildren believing you were doing something good for them. The food industry has spent billions of dollars making sure you believe this lie because juice has some of the highest profit margins of any product in the grocery store. They're literally making a fortune by slowly poisoning us with concentrated fruit sugar. Number 6, the marketing machine that's stealing your health. Have you ever wondered why foods that have been eaten for thousands of years suddenly need advertising? Real foods, the kinds your great-grandmother would recognize, don't need marketing campaigns. An apple doesn't need a commercial. A piece of salmon doesn't need celebrity endorsements. But walk through any grocery store and you'll be bombarded with messages about how processed foods are healthy, natural, and good for your family. The breakfast cereal industry alone spends over $1 billion every year on advertising. That's billion with a B. They're not spending that money because they care about your health. They're spending it because they know if they can convince you their product is healthy, you'll buy it without question. And once you start eating it regularly, the sugar and refined carbohydrates will create cravings that keep you coming back for more. These companies hire teams of food scientists whose only job is to find the perfect combination of sugar, salt, and fat that will trigger the addiction centers in your brain. They call it the bliss point, that precise formula that makes you unable to stop eating their product. They literally engineer addiction into their foods, then spend millions convincing you it's your fault if you can't stop eating them. The most heartbreaking part is how they target their marketing. They know that if they can get children hooked on sugary cereals, those children will likely eat them for life. They know that if they can convince mothers that their products are healthy, those mothers will buy them without reading the ingredients. They prey on our love for our families and our desire to do what's best for them. They put official-looking seals on their packages that mean absolutely nothing. They use words like natural, wholesome, and heart-healthy without any legal requirement that those words have meaning. They fund studies by researchers who are financially dependent on the food industry, then use those biased studies to support their health claims. This isn't just marketing. This is systematic deception designed to keep you sick and buying their products. While you're struggling with weight gain, diabetes, and heart disease, they're counting their profits. While your doctor is prescribing more medications to treat your symptoms, they're launching new products with even better marketing campaigns. Number 7. The simple formula that could save your life. After years of being deceived by marketing claims and confusing labels, you deserve a simple way to protect yourself. There's a formula so powerful and so easy to use that it could literally save your life. It's called the carb-to-fiber ratio, and it cuts through all the marketing nonsense to tell you whether a food is truly healthy or just pretending to be. Here's how it works. Take any packaged food and look at the nutrition label. Find the total carbohydrates and divide that number by the fiber content. Si le résultat est inférieur à 5 pour 1, la nourriture est généralement sûre à manger. Si c'est supérieur à 5 pour 1, vous regardez un aliment transformé qui va faire monter votre taux de sucre dans le sang et favoriser l'inflammation dans votre corps. Let me show you how this works with real foods. Take that slice of whole wheat bread sitting in your kitchen. The label probably says something like 20 grams of carbohydrates and 2 grams of fiber. And that's a ratio of 10 to 1, double what's safe. That bread, despite all its healthy marketing, is going to hit your bloodstream like sugar water. Now look at an apple. A medium apple has about 25 grams of carbohydrates and 4 grams of fiber, giving it a ratio of just over 6 to 1. It's close to the safe zone, and that's before you consider all the beneficial compounds that come naturally in whole fruits. The fiber in the apple will slow down the absorption of the natural sugars, preventing the dangerous blood sugar spikes that damage your arteries. This formula exposes the lies we've been told about healthy eating. Those expensive whole grain cereals with the heart healthy symbols? Most of them have ratios of 15 to 1 or higher. That orange juice we talked about earlier, the ratio is infinite because there's no fiber at all. Even foods marketed as high fiber often fail this simple test when you do the math. But here's the beautiful thing about this formula. It doesn't just tell you what to avoid, it points you toward foods that will actually nourish your body and protect your heart. Eggs have virtually no carbohydrates and plenty of protein. Nuts and seeds have favorable ratios with healthy fats that your body needs. Vegetables are nutritional powerhouses that will fill you up without spiking your blood sugar. Number 8. Your new beginning. Starts tomorrow morning. The most important thing I want you to understand is this. Heart attacks don't happen suddenly. They're not random events that strike without warning. Your arteries have been getting clogged slowly, day by day, meal by meal, for years or even decades. But here's the hopeful part of this story. If damage can build up slowly over time, healing can happen the same way. Tomorrow morning, you have the power to start writing a different story for your health. Instead of reaching for that box of cereal or that glass of juice, you can choose foods that will begin healing your body from the inside out. A breakfast of scrambled eggs with vegetables will provide steady energy without spiking your blood sugar. Greek yogurt with nuts and seeds will give you protein and healthy fats that satisfy you for hours. If you enjoy Indian flavors, try Moong Dal Chilla, a protein-rich pancake made from split yellow lentils that's both delicious and heart-healthy. Paneer Bhurji with vegetables provides complete protein and virtually no carbohydrates. Even poha, when prepared with peanuts and vegetables and kept to a small portion, can be part of a healthy breakfast because of its favorable fiber content. The key is understanding that real food doesn't come with health claims on fancy packaging. Real food is simple, recognizable, and has been nourishing human bodies for thousands of years. Your great-grandmother didn't need nutrition labels to know what was healthy. She ate foods that came from farms, not factories. But changing what you eat is only part of the solution. The bigger challenge is changing how you think about the food industry and the messages they've been sending you. Every time you see an advertisement claiming a processed food is healthy, I want you to remember that companies spend billions of dollars trying to convince you that poison is medicine. This information is too important to keep to yourself. Share it with your children, your grandchildren, your friends, and your neighbors. The food industry has spent decades convincing us that we need their products to be healthy. The truth is, we need to avoid their products to stay healthy. The more people who understand this, the harder it becomes for these companies to profit from our suffering. Your heart and the hearts of everyone you love deserve nothing less than the truth. Looking back on everything we've shared today, I want you to take a moment and really let this sink in. For decades, maybe your entire adult life, you've been trusting foods that were slowly betraying your heart. That's not your fault. You were doing what you believed was right, following advice that seemed trustworthy, choosing options that promised to keep you healthy. But now you know the truth. And that knowledge is your power. Tomorrow morning, when you walk into your kitchen, you won't be the same person you were this morning. You'll see those colorful cereal boxes differently. You'll read those juice containers with new eyes. You'll understand what that 5-to-1 ratio really means for your body. Most importantly, you'll know that real nutrition doesn't come from a laboratory or a marketing campaign. It comes from simple, honest foods that have been nourishing people for generations. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every healthy choice you make from now on is your heart saying thank you. Every morning you choose eggs over cereal, every time you reach for water instead of juice, you're literally adding jours à votre vie et vie à vos jours. À 60 et au-delà, vous avez la sagesse que les jeunes gens ne peuvent donc qu'espérer. Vous avez vécu assez pour reconnaître la vérité quand vous l'entendez. You've earned the right to make decisions based on what's really best for you. not what some corporation wants to sell you. Your heart has been faithfully beating for you through every moment of your life. Now it's time to return that faithfulness by giving it the fuel it truly needs. Which of these truths did you most need to hear today? I'd love to know in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes the way it did mine, please share it with someone you care about. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is share a truth that might save a life. Take care of that beautiful heart of yours. It's the only one you've got, and it deserves nothing but the best.